While Young Sheldon is coming to an end, let's rewind and see how it all began.
Here we go.
What did Jim Parsons say about Iain Armitage's audition tape? Why Raegan Revord almost didn't play Missy? And what did Annie Potts change about Meemaw?
It's amazing.
Iain Armitage is Sheldon. Finding an actor to play the genius physicist was the biggest and hardest task for the crew. From the beginning, they had to ensure the boy could learn quite difficult lines. So for an audition, they offered to memorize a 3-page monologue. It included all kinds of stuff, even a William Shatner impression. Quite a task, huh? But Iain Armitage handled it like a boss. Back then, he was on a Christmas vacation at his grandma's house. Yet instead of having fun with his family and friends, the boy spent 3 days learning the monologue by heart.
Mom was like, "Do you really want to do it?" And I was like, "I think so."
Then Iain recorded it on an iPhone and sent it to the showrunners. Their hearts were stolen the moment they saw the tape. Stephen Malaro said that Iain was the first kid who made them laugh. The boy was so spectacular that the series creators didn't waste a second.
When we were flying home, Mom got a text that I had gotten the part, and I thought, why are we flying home? That just seems like a waste of money and air. That just seems kind of like a waste.
They instantly asked him to come for a screen test, and the rest is history. Chuck Lorre said they couldn't believe their luck because Iain was perfect for the role. Even Jim Parsons was impressed by his audition tape.
He is such a man-child. He thinks like a man, but then he's just a kid.
From day one, Jim and Iain worked closely together.
Well, he's taught me a lot about Sheldon, a lot about how to play Sheldon, and talking about how his mind works.
It wasn't an easy task as Iain had never watched The Big Bang Theory, just like his on-screen sister and off-screen friend, Raegan Revord as Missy. She and Iain share an amazing chemistry. Partly it's because they're so close in real life.
Really?
We are literally the exact same.
So we can say that the showrunners got lucky with the Missy actress too. Like Iain, she stole their hearts at the audition. But it turns out that Raegan had much convincing to do before even sending her tape. The girl had dreamed of being an actress since a very early age. And when she heard about the Missy audition, she wanted to try.
I just felt connected to it. I felt so much like the character.
But her mom wasn't all for it, so Raegan had to ask her many times. Finally, she was allowed to send her tape, and pretty soon the girl heard back from the writers.
One night we got an email and they were like, "Hey, can you learn it with the Texas accent?" And so I was like, okay.
The very next day, Raegan sent another tape and got the part.
And I cried whenever I got it. I was so excited.
Indeed, playing Missy changed her life, and it also gave her 2 brothers. Let's talk about the older one now. Montana Jordan as Georgie. As he tried for the role, the young man was quite confident in front of the camera. It was thanks to his previous acting experience in the independent film The Legacy of a White-Tailed Deer Hunter. Montana was only 12 back then, and he shared the set with Josh Brolin himself. And when he learned about the role in Young Sheldon, the actor immediately knew he wanted to try for it.
And I felt like it really fit like me in real life.
That's certainly true. Montana is quite similar to Georgie in real life. Like his character, he was born and raised in a small town in Texas. He also played football for his school team, and even his accent and mannerisms are the same in real life. The showrunners saw it too, and it didn't take them long to give Montana the role. The next thing he had to do was move to LA for filming, and this was quite a challenge for the young actor because he was so used to the Texan, laid-back lifestyle.
But to me, LA is it's crazy to me.
But as soon as his co-stars became his second family, Montana was fine. Now let's talk about his on-screen mother. Zoe Perry is Mary. You probably know that this actress is the real-life daughter of Laurie Metcalf, who played Sheldon's mother in The Big Bang Theory.
Didn't Oscar Wilde say all women become their mother?
It's happening sooner rather than later.
Yet it doesn't mean that she got her role just like that. Zoe still had to audition, but since she's a brilliant actress and her mannerisms are on point, it didn't take her long to land the part. The next thing she did was ask her mother for some tips on the role. Metcalf's advice was pretty simple.
Chuck and Steve are so brilliant with that, and she said just, keep, as long as you ground it, in reality, you're golden.
Zoe realized that all she had to do was trust the writers because they're comedic geniuses. Yet they also trusted her enough to bring changes to the character. After all, Mary Cooper from Young Sheldon didn't have to be exactly the same as in The Big Bang Theory. Because, people change with time.
It's a Mary Cooper that maybe audiences aren't as familiar with, and it gives me a lot of, space to kind of explore who she is.
Share in the comments below what you think about her version of Mary. At the same time, her on-screen husband also has a connection with the original sitcom, and it's much less clear to the fans of both shows. Lance Barber is George. As you might remember, he appeared in a small role in The Big Bang Theory. In the 5th season, Lance played Leonard's high school bully, Jimmy Speckerman. Seeing him play Sheldon's father was a huge surprise for some fans. To settle the matter, they even came up with the theory that the events of Young Sheldon happened in an alternate universe. But does it have to be that complicated? Lance doesn't think so.
There's been some weird stuff like is this a multi-dimensional universe? It's nonsense. It's an actor playing a different part.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, so it's time to let the whole thing go. And here's the real reason why Lance Barber came back to the TBBT universe in a different role. The show writer Chuck Lorre likes working with the same people on his different projects. Bless him, he uses people that he likes, Barber explained. So Lorre gave the role of George Cooper to Lance simply because he liked working with him. The actor expected some confusion from the fans. From day one, he hoped that his performance as George would be good enough, and it'd make the fans forget about Jimmy Speckerman. It appears that Lance was successful in that, because he made George a favorite character for many fans. And finally, here's one more member of the family whom we also love. Annie Potts as Meemaw. The role came completely out of the blue for the actress. Before playing Connie Tucker, she took part in a few pilots that didn't go through. So Annie decided to take a vacation and left for the Caribbean. And suddenly she got a call.
Call came to say, do you want to be Meemaw on Young Sheldon? It was like, what?
Although initially confused, Annie quickly realized that the role fit her perfectly. Since she's a Southern woman herself, she knew how to play Meemaw. And she quickly found two major inspirations, her own mother and Dolly Parton from Steel Magnolias.
I thought, yeah, I bet she looks a little bit like that,
Then, Annie went on to change a major thing about Meemaw. She offered to make her gray-haired. The writers wanted Connie to have the same hair color as her daughter Mary, but they eventually went on board with Annie's idea for two reasons. First of all, it made Meemaw more natural.
I myself had recently just stopped dyeing my hair because it was like, who am I kidding?
And secondly, it highlighted the differences between her and Mary. It was certainly a correct decision. Now, it's hard to imagine Meemaw with any other hair color, right? Whose audition story surprised you the most? Share in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about Young Sheldon, watch our other videos.